All righty. Something else keeps dropping daily, it seems like. We got the Gears shirt on for repping the content. They dropped movement mechanics, I guess. New movement mechanics, what to expect. So, yeah, let's check it out. I mean, why not? Fresh off the clock. And let's get right on it. Might just do E-Day coverage till the game comes out at this point. Fuck it.
Hey everybody, I'm Ryan McCaffrey from IGN. I am with the only person I know that's a bigger Gears of War fan than I am, and that's my Podcast Unlocked castmate, Miranda Sanchez. Miranda, we just got out of seeing a behind closed doors presentation. We didn't get to see new gameplay, but we had the developers talking to us for an hour, answering a whole bunch of questions about this prequel, Gears of War E-Day. So where do you want to start with this? What do we want to talk about?
Sort of establishing that since you didn't allow us to dig too much into things that haven't shown, we really try to keep it focused on some big moments that we saw in the reveal and of course in their longer broadcast later, and that was on movement, gameplay, and of course the lore. So we saw
which they did a great job.
A pretty neat scene from the books, like in the trailer when Marcus gets pinned and then of course saved, and that is verbatim from the book. But the location is quite different, right? So they kind of just, touched on that. And I said, hey, so you're taking stuff from the books, which awesome, because this is E-Day is an established thing, of course, in Gears lore. But how are you guys going to make sure that you're preserving what's existed? Or does that not even matter? Are you guys going to Star Wars Episode 1 and just change
Which, if they do, terrible. If they don't, listen, obviously, you're not going to be able to cover everything. Right? And they have to specify something specific. But, the badge on Dom in the street from the Pendulum Wars, when he, that Commando Dom skin, dope to see that there. I mean, Marcus's, I don't know if y'all read the books. I did growing up. That orange jacket is pretty close to what I remember them describing in the first book with E-Day. Or it was the second book, I'm sorry. First book was the Pendulum War. But I think he had some fur around the fucking top of the jacket. But the whole scene with Ty was raw, dope. I called it from the get-go. I knew it. It was so hopefully they don't steer too far, but
now has midichlorians, it's I don't know what the Gears example would be, something with emulsion maybe, if we really want to get into it. But I think that's such a pivotal thing for folks like me who love the lore and really love these characters. It's what are you guys doing? And they're no, we are not, these still matter. We want to build this out in a way where we can expand who in this game, in this world, because there's a lot new characters. We saw how they did that really well with Hivebusters when they move away from our faves and show new people and what they're doing. And I think they're trying to do that with this new squad. And tried to show, of course, we know Marcus and Dom, but the other two new characters are a really good opportunity for them.
Yeah, Bravo Squad is what we learned.
Speaking of the badge, that's it right there.
I think as far as the content from the stories of old, they said that they're kind of taking a lift and shift method. So that scene in the trailer that we saw, or I guess the extended gameplay, they took that moment from a different location in the lore technically and shifted it to this new city that they're creating so that they can really make the most of it.
So a little creative freedom.
Yeah.
But not outright rewriting Gears history.
Exactly. They're not going to meet Cole and Baird, for instance. They don't meet canonically here, so why would they see him? But
exactly.
Coltrane is huge. He's a star. And so they said you pay attention in the back.
I said this to my boys. They should do a Coltrane and Baird DLC. Absolutely their perspective. That's a cash cow in and of itself for a campaign. But
to the bar, there's a Thrashball poster with Cole on it because he's a huge star. So it's of course he still has a presence here. It's just not saying that you'd be used to.
Is they very clearly said
I respect. That's how the book
this
was.
game follows
so it's
Marcus and Dom across 3 days,
young Bernie,
and it never leaves them. And I couldn't help but think, I wonder if the follow-up to this game might be a Baird game. I couldn't help but wonder, where do we go from here? But The good news is,
simple.
E-Day did seem to be heavily focusing on characters. Like they mentioned in the session.
Listen, again, they could write out content for like at least 6 to 8 years easily. That's all I'm saying.
That so many people die apparently in this one, like it because it's like two-thirds of the population gets killed, and that people that you're fighting alongside at some point in the game, like you'll find their cog tag later because they've been killed. Because it seems like it's going to be a darker thematically, if not like literally with lighting, but a really dark story this time around.
Mm-hmm. I was told that I will personally probably cry multiple times. And I was like, all right. I mean, I believe you. I believe you guys, especially for how much we care for the characters that are established already. But we have Megs and Lucas, who I think are neat. And just that they have new characters again. And there are new ways to learn about Marcus and Dom effectively, right? Like, how much do we actually know about? We know a lot about Marcus and Dom, but we don't know about, like, young Marcus and, like, what his motivations were at the time. Like, or I guess more of, like, at a time of relative peace. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah, between wars, as it turns out.
Wars, but also in a time of mourning, because he's mourning his best friend, which they keep emphasizing. And I think that's really cool that they kind of bring up that tie between Marcus and Dom, and that they didn't know each other, but they're not like as close as they were.
Yeah, Carlos is apparently the glue that kind of holds their friendship together.
It's like Carlos was there, and then obviously, if you guys noticed in the trailer, my favorite thing was that Dom just like is on the phone. He's all smiley. It's like, talking to Maria, you talking to your girl. She's alive. She's healthy. She's okay. But we know if you are a lore fan, I'm not gonna spoil it just in case. There's some very not good stuff happening for Dom soon beyond Maria.
Maria just runs away.
Just like,
but
we'll
see.
Anyway, I'm just like so stoked to see what they're gonna do.
No spoiler, I ain't spoiling it, but I've been saying that. Dom, God bless. You think it's
there,
over
and how the rest of Bravo Squad are gonna do, and how that's gonna work out as far as like the rest of the franchise. And like, speaking of, this plays so different. Like, this is mechanically going to be quite a different Gears. I think they also did specifically, it's like, our camera, instead of zooming in to do the roadie run, they pan out. Like, it's a lighter run.
Yeah, how did you feel about that? Because I'm going to be honest, that was the one thing when they showed it and explained it. I was like, as a big Gears fan, I'm not into that. Only because roadie run, it's so uniquely Gears. I've not really seen that in another.
And I get that, but at the same time,
game. So I'm sure when I play the game, it'll be fine, and I'll have a great time with the game. But how did you feel about the omission of roadie run in favor of a more traditional follow sprint camera?
I wonder if it's just something that worked better with the tech changes of how they're doing cover, but also maybe to be a bit more welcoming to even more people. Like, they've been refining how movement works in Gears constantly. Like, 5 is of course different from 4, different from 3, and I do like roadie run. I think it's just heavy. It's good. It feels good. It's so Gears, like that is a Gears thing. But at the same time, I'm open to seeing how this changes and if it does benefit the gameplay. I think, of course, I love that they just get on the ground for cover. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. It's just cool to see how the evolution and jumping. They also said there's no, I know this is deviating a bit. They said there's no platforming. Like, you're not going to get a platforming puzzle. I was like, thank you.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bigger fan of those changes to the movement and to the cover mechanics, because I think Michael Hyam was saying it on our Unlocked post show back on right after the Xbox showcase, that Gears mechanics have been pretty fundamentally the same for all these years, and they've been great. It's a great system, but yeah, now we've got the slide, and you can slide into cover, and apparently it's just one button. Like, it automatically, you don't have to like hit another button to then go into cover. And yeah, the low cover that you were talking about, where you'll be able to kind of be almost prone and then leaning up and shooting. So that should just freshen up the gameplay a little bit, I think.
Yeah, also that came up in my session. So we were in different sessions. Was that wall bouncing doesn't really work the same anymore, talking about cover and how that shifts. So that's going to shift multiplayer meta quite a bit, where obviously if you're like really good at wall bouncing, like you do some cool stuff. They said it's not as dominant as a strategy because they just want to balance that with new mechanics.
Listen, it's simple, guys. If you're an old-time Gears head, if you just rely on the bouncing and you like traditional Gears, you're going to fucking hate it, okay? Maybe, I don't know how it is going to be on console, PC. If it feels nice, and you give it a chance, see what happens. I'm all for attracting the new. To be honest, like, the wall bouncing, as sweaty and as fun and satisfying as it is to feel like alpha and fucking shit on someone, like, it's too abusive and it's too easily abused. And it's one of the driving factors how Sweaty Gears is, why no one plays it. And without the campaign, it's useless. So, listen, take what you want.
And let people discover this way and play differently. So, obviously, it's like, as emergency is happening, I don't like it. I don't like that. But they said you can switch it back. To reloads now center screen. I don't like it. I don't like that. But they said you can switch it back. You can put it back up in the corner if you don't want it right in your face. And I think it being, if you do have to look back at the top corner to see that still, but I think that's still a welcoming way to say, hey, this is an important thing. Learn how to do this. And for everyone who already knows, just put it in the corner.
So they're anticipating new people.
Yeah, my muscle memory, my eyes are trained to just check that top right corner. And I guess we could kind of finish on a quick multiplayer point.
Sure.
We didn't see multiplayer, but we did learn about the 12-player
Okay, so
mode.
There's no multiplayer point. We know about the Horde. That's going to be awesome. And then...
was the presentation. People may...
Yeah, we got that. So, guys, I mean...
See that. But I like that we get to see more of some of the faves. So...
Yeah,
And some of the faves. Yeah. I don't really care what this guy has to say. Point is, wall bouncing ain't what it is. It's not going to be traditional Gears. Take it as you is. Campaign's going to... Key factors. OG community's on the toss-up for the multiplayer. Whatever. Are people going to still play that multiplayer? Absolutely. Does the OG community think they matter as much with new people coming in and coming back and seeing it not being as sweaty? If the game takes off and more people are playing, I promise you the OGs are going to just come back and want to get good and beat them anyway. So I'm not really worried about those kids leaving necessarily. The campaign's going to be great. If the multiplayer's casual enough to where people feel like, okay, you could be talented, but it's also, they can at least get a kill and compete and have some fun. Whatever, by all means. Obviously, the skill gap's high in Gears originally. I feel like there should still be a skill gap. It shouldn't be any, you know what I mean? And hopefully they do a good job in being able to still reward players, the OGs, with the new mechanics and being able to kind of be a menace, whether it be on the ring in King of the Hill or whatever game modes we're playing. But it's definitely a risky shot. We'll see. It's definitely in the air. I mean, I'm excited. I know some of my friends are not. I know some people aren't. I know some people are. I know some people are like, thank God that it's not as sweaty. Some people are like, fucking, that sucks. Like, we want to sweat. So it's really just depending on your perspective and how you're looking at it. But I think overall, what I said, like, regarding just the community itself, the tryhards, they're never going to leave anyway, regardless of how bad the games have been, because that's Gears in a nutshell anyway. And if it's good enough and people stay, the game will have a chance. But at the end of the day, could also just see people playing the campaign and then ragging on the multiplayer after, once the hype around the storyline dies and shit. Or people love it. And the campaign and multiplayer are both here to stay, and it's a stable point back in the company. But we'll keep trucking along here. The wall bouncing, tragic, but hey, man, more adaptability. That's all I'm saying. Accountability, adaptability. Let's see what comes out in these next couple of weeks. Hopefully, a second trailer. So.